Hello, in this video we are going to take a look at the range component for our form. So a range is basically a slider that allows you to select a value. So this is great if, for example, if you are selecting how many of something. Maybe you're creating a website where you can order items. Maybe the items are cans of tuna, and you can use a slider, and maybe there's a minimum obviously of 0 for the order, and maybe you only allow a maximum order of 100, for example. So this, that's one use case. Another use case is it could be used to toggle, let's say, the brightness of something, or anything really. So to do a range, it's actually really simple to implement. So first of all, I'll implement this div that will essentially encapsulate our component. This is optional, but it's just a great way of formatting things. And so the range, like I said, it is, I'd say, one of the simplest components that you can implement in a form, but still pretty cool. First of all, we're going to have a label, and this is just great to provide some contextual information. I'm going to put custom range 1. This is going to be the ID of the input range component, which we'll be creating shortly. And we're going to have a class of form-label to keep it all consistent, and we're just going to say example range. Okay, so now what we're going to do is have an input, and the input is going to be a type of range. We're going to have a class of form-range, and it's going to have an ID, and the ID will be this right here. Okay, what I should say is this is the same as the ID, not the ID is that. It equates to the same thing. So if I reload, we get this range. So that's pretty cool. We can move this, got increments. We can also set a min and max value. So we could do min equals, let's say, 0, and max equals 10, like so. And there we go. As you can see, we can click somewhere and you'll just go to the nearest one, whether that's going up one or slightly down from where we've clicked, but that's all it is. And we can also specify a step as well. So the step just basically indicates, the intervals. So if I go to the start, it's 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And because the last one is 10 because we have a max of 10. If I did a step of 2, but I did 100 now, there'll technically be 50 different steps, but each one increasing it by 2. You can obviously use JavaScript to get the value of this range, and I highly recommend that you do that as an extra task. One other thing I want to show you, and by default it puts it in the center, or as close to the center that it can, depending on what the the step range is. To eliminate that, so if you want to add a particular point, let's say at the start, which is very common, you just put value equals 0, which will be at the start. Now there you go. So that is ranges, basically a slider. If you have any questions, feel free to pop me a message, and as usual, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.